Henry had gone to the steamworks to be mended, so Sir Topham Hatt asked Emily to look after his jobs. Emily was delighted. She made a nice change and can pull coaches as well as freight cars. Gordon was happy to see her. And James realized what happened to Emily when she was drinking Cool Rush water with Percy and Rosie. One morning, James was delivering some trucks to Marion Station. Then Nelson was coming. And to James's horror, Nelson isn't slowing down. Both Nelson and James shut their eyes tight. When they met at Marin, Nelson was most apologetic. "I'm sorry, James," he said. "I got a new driver, you see. He thinks that I can beat you to a crossing." "Oh, that's all right," James smiled. "I hope your driver doesn't put you in danger." "Didn't your driver see the signals, Nelson?" Emily asked. "There are no signals," James replied. Emily gasped. "How could you run a line with no signals? It isn't dignified. Otherwise, these road vehicles wouldn't know when to stop." "I know when to stop, thank you, Scout Nelson." "That's for your safety as ours, Nelson," said Emily. "Accidents cause problems for our rails. Sir Topham Hatt needs to put railway signals at once. I'm surprised you didn't ask him already." James and Nelson said no more. "I don't believe it, Gordon," said Emily. "James would be foolish enough if he ran the unsafe line." "The line is safe because James runs on it," Gordon explained. "Besides, he knows where to stop at every crossing." "You didn't need to worry, Emily. If Sir Topham had realized that signals were needed, he would have put them up ages ago." But Emily was unconvinced. They were needed, in her opinion. Recently, the railroad crossing was having some issues with the signals. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. No matter how hard the signalman tried. The signals turn red so that the engines can stop. And the signals change to green so that the engines can go. But no one had warned Emily. The next day, Emily stopped at the red signal to let Rebecca pass by. Then the signal changed to green. "Now that's a proper railway," she smiled. Later, Gina was pulling the goods train, but all of a sudden, she ran out of water. The new signalman decided to call for help, but he forgot to change the signal. Emily was soon approaching the crossing. But she didn't worry. It will turn red. It will turn to red. She smiled. But it didn't. It's sure to change to red. It has to. But still, the signal stayed green. Emily applied the brakes, but it was too late. Poor Emily was covered in milk. So Gordon came to pull Emily and the goods train. When Gordon saw Emily, he burst out laughing. When Gordon pushed Emily to the washdown, James and Nelson laughed too. "Look at that," James said. "Looks like Emily has learned about safety signals," added Nelson. Emily looked at her buffers and sighed. She won't be making any remarks about safety for quite some time.